Hi, Real here. Welcome to the presentation of my database monitoring utility. So it's called dbmon.i. So let's go ahead and run it, dbmon.i. At this point, you specify a logical database name that you want to monitor. So let's go take a look at those databases. So here are the logical database names that we're interested in. So let's go ahead and monitor QADDB. So I put QADDB and hit F1. All right. So basically it's telling me which database I'm monitoring. It's telling me which tables I want to load into memory. Actually, I'm not loading the tables, but triggers on those tables. So I'm excluding a bunch of tables here with all the exclamation points. And finally, at the very end, I'm allowing all the rest of the tables, so everything. This is a can-do list. Probably recognized it. Let's move on to the field below. This is to launch the MFG Pro program. You could specify mf.p or mf.r depending on how your pro path is set up. Outfile.txt is where the database triggers firing are going to be writing the results. So outfile.txt. I want to overwrite this file if it already exists. Here I want to tell it what I want to do with the write triggers. Do I want to create detail whenever a trigger fires? Do I want to see a lot of detail, or just summary, or I don't want to see it at all? So write trigger, detail, delete trigger, detail. Find triggers. I'm not going to have the find triggers because this produces a lot of data, mostly useful for troubleshooting. So at this point, I don't need that. So let's go ahead and hit F1. Oh, and notice here, by the way, the escape W or control W to write a note to the output file. So I'm going to show this later. So F1. As it's loading, we're kind of exceeding the parameters, session parameters that were set up, that were used to start up that session. So hit the spacebar, just hold the spacebar down. That's okay. And you're probably going to see this a few more times once you're already logged in. Just hit spacebar every time. All right, so let's just enter your credentials, log in. All right, at this point, all the triggers are loaded into memory and they're ready to go. They're ready to fire. So let's just take a look at that file that was created. So I'm going to go to my Unix drive, which is already mapped in my Windows environment. And here's the file right here, outfile.txt. You can see the first screen that we filled in, and then it's showing you every single table that got loaded into memory. If a table is not there, that means it hasn't been loaded. The triggers haven't been loaded here. So, all right. So next, let's go ahead and give it a try. All right. So let's say I want to modify an item. So 1, 4, 1. You see, I'm having that message again. So it's, okay. All right. So let's just pick an item. All right, I'm going to take here that inactive item and make it active. Let's see what happens. Remember earlier I said if you want to write a note into the file, you can use escape W or control W. So let's give it a try. Escape W. I usually write debug so I can search my debug messages later. So changing the status. So hit F1 to get out of here. All right, let's go take a look. It wrote it right away in the file, so let's take a look at that. We already see changes in here. Even though I didn't change anything, QED did make some changes. So here's what it's showing you. Showing you which table got changed and which record. This is very useful, by the way. You can just like copy paste this into the editor whenever you want to access that record and do some investigation. Your table description. Okay, calling program. This is the program that actually was running when it wrote to the database, and this is the program that was calling this program. Then it's telling you which fields got modified. So in that case, PT mod date and PT user ID, which you're going to find right below here. Modified fields, mod date, user ID. So it's showing me the PT mod date, original value, and the new value, which is today's value. And same for the PT user ID, original value and the new value. And here, useful piece of information, it's giving you the primary index and the fields that comprise it. So let's go ahead and complete our change. So I'm putting it active, F1. I'm going to get out completely because sometimes it doesn't write to the database right away, so I might not see it. So let's just go ahead and F1, 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 F4 here. All right. So often what I'm going to do when I'm testing multiple things, when I get back to the menu, I'm going to say escape W, debug, back to the menu. And then if I were to run something else, then I would, I would know where one program ends and where the other starts. So let's go back to our log file. All right, so where were we? Okay, so here's our little note changing the status. So here's what happened when I changed the status. So it modified that record, showing me the status was inactive and now it's active. It also modified PT net weight, PT ship weight, PT size. I'm not sure why it did that, but anyway, it did. So you see, it looks like it truncated the decimal parts. Not sure why it did that, but that's what it did. So that's very useful for that. You can see if you're investigating why values are getting changed, well, you're going to see exactly when it's happening and who's doing it. So that will help you investigate. It also made a change to the IN master table. Here, that's interesting. We see the procedure that was running in that program, and then that other procedure actually called this one. So it did change the IN MRP field from no to yes. And then it fired again. IN master is the same. No, it's a different record. So it updated the second IN master record. And this time it changed the MRP again from no to yes. Domain part site. Not sure here why we have two different records, but anyway. So this is what happened, and here's my little note when I got back to the menu. So at this point, I'm all done. I would just get out of here. Yes. See, goodbye. And here's the utility. If ever you're wondering what parameters or how the parameters need to be filled in, just run it this way. It will tell you here. So basically, here's a usage. You can put ampersand dbmon equals, and then you put your logical database name. And then if there are other databases you want to monitor at the same time, you would just add them here. You can put tables as well. And here's an example. But remember, when I ran it, I didn't put the ampersand db1. I just put the table name. I just did like QADDB. So that will work as well. So that's my utility. I hope it's as useful to you as it's been to me. So feel free to contact me if you have any questions. Thank you.